Hare Krishna, welcome everyone again to our Bhagavad Gita overview. So we'll start with our prayers. Om Jnanatimrandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuron Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamhiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, welcome everyone again to our Bhagavad Gita overview. We are on 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So we discussed how starting from the 7th chapter, 8th chapter, 9th chapter, Krishna has described his sweetness and the greatness. And then in 10th chapter, he has told Arjuna how he can see him, how Arjuna can see him in all the attractive things of this world. Then in 11th chapter, Krishna showed how he is pervading in this entire universe, and he showed his universal form. And then in the 12th chapter, Arjuna had a question. So Arjuna, he asked, who is better, an impersonal worshipper or a Brahmavadi or a devotee of the Lord? And Krishna, in answer to this, he says, for sure, O Arjuna, the devotees of the Lord, they are better than the impersonal worshippers, because the path of impersonalism is troublesome. I personally take care of my devotees. Devotees are very dear to me because they have so many qualities. And then he described the whole chapter from 12.13 onwards. A series of verses describe the qualities of devotees. And then after hearing the whole chapter, in the 13th chapter beginning, Arjuna had a doubt. Arjuna had a question. So somebody asked yesterday, अरे इतना सब सुनने के बाद एक क्वेश्चन इधर किधर से आया दिमाग में इनके, you know? So Arjuna is a very, very attentive student who is, always alert to whatever is being spoken, because when Krishna Katha is going on, three people get benefited. Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Strin Punatihi Vaktaram Prachakam Shrotram Tatpada Salilam Yatha. So when Krishna Katha is going on, Vasudeva Katha, and somebody asks a question, three people get benefited. Vakta, Prachakam and Shrota. Vakta means who is speaking, Prachaka means who is asking question, and Shrota means those who are listening, hearing the answer. So when somebody is asking questions, these three people get benefited. So Arjuna is not a person who is sitting in the class and then there is a whole group of students who are there, and if somebody asks a question at the end of the class, generally that is a general observation after a 2-hour class. After the class, if the person who is speaker, he asks, somebody has any questions, anybody has any questions, and whoever raises hand, if others are not interested, then they will look at that person with such a glance as if they are going to burn him. पूछना ही था तो अकेले पूछ लेता. What is the need to ask now? We are already so exhausted. But Arjuna is not that type of person. He is really alert, attentive, and therefore is asking for the welfare of everyone, so that these complex topics can also be answered by Krishna. So that's why we have to understand that we have to be enthusiastic in asking questions and hearing the answers also. So we discussed in 13th chapter till 4th verses. 4 verses we discussed, and in the 4th verse Krishna starts answering about this topic of Kshetra and Kshetragya. So we discussed Kshetra means the field of action, and Kshetragya means Gya means to know, one who knows the field of action. So there are two types of Kshetragya Krishna has described. One is the soul, other is a super soul. So the soul knows only one body, but super soul is there in everyone's heart, and super soul knows everyone. He knows all the living entities who are there in this material creation. So therefore Krishna says, Kshetragyam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. O Arjuna, I am also Kshetragya, who is there in everyone's heart. So then after this, he has described what is knowledge. Knowledge means to know matter, spirit, and controller of both. To know Prakriti, Purusha, and the person who knows about both Prakriti and Purusha. That is knowledge. So that Krishna will describe in great detail from 13.8 to 11. So he'll give 20 points of knowledge. So now in this 4th verse, we saw that Krishna will start answering in brief about the composition of the body, qualities of the body, changes the body undergoes, from where the body originates, what is the actual Swarupa identity of this body, and the powers of the knower of the body. So these are the questions which Krishna is going to answer in brief. Then we saw that Arjuna has a thought that, okay, if you are going to tell in brief, who will tell me in detail? Krishna says, great rishis, they know all these in detail. Headed by Vasishtha, Chakravarti Thakur writes, Krishna is saying it has been described by rishis like Vasishtha in the writings of the Vedas, in the writings of the Vedanta Sutra. They have described everything in great detail, so you take shelter of them. After describing this, he starts description of the composition of the body. Just a minute. Okay. So now from 6th verse onwards, Krishna starts describing the composition of the body. And there he is describing the Sankhya philosophy. What is Sankhya? And Sankhya means understanding the composition of this body. There is some problem with the slides. Just a minute. Okay, we'll start. So in this 13.6, Krishna has described about the Sankhya philosophy. There he has said that Mahabhutani Ahankaro Buddhir Avyaktam Evacha Indriyani Dashaikam cha Panchachendriya Gocharah. So Mahabhutani Ahankaro, see, these are the 24 elements of the material nature that constitute the material body. So this is called Sankhya. Sankhya means to understand this, how this body is made up of, how this material creation is made up of. Just like if somebody is given a elements and constituents of a gulab jamun. So if whoever is eating this gulab jamun, he will be in ecstasy. But the purpose of this Sankhya philosophy is to break down the elements, break down the whole body into elements, so that the result is it will not be attractive. If gulab jamun is attractive, but if the flour, sugar and water and whatever ingredients are ghee, whatever ingredients are used to make the gulab jamun is put in front, it will not be attractive. So the purpose of Sankhya philosophy is to make us detached from this bodily consciousness. As it is said that the beauty is skin deep. If we remove the skin from the body, it is all filled with all abominable things. So therefore, Krishna is telling this Sankhya of this composition of this body. And there are 24 elements of nature which are described by Krishna in this 6th verse in brief. It is described in great detail in the 3rd chapter of, in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam by Kapila Deva, where he is describing his Sankhya philosophy. So Sankhya means the constitutional and compositional nature of this soul and this of this material world, how this material world is constituted. So that is called Sankhya. So it is made up of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, then 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas. Karmendriya means the acting senses, and jnanendriya means the knowledge acquiring senses. So knowledge acquiring senses are 5, as we know: eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. And the working senses are voice, legs, hand, anus and genitals. So these constitute 5 plus 5 plus 5, 16. And then as you can see in the slide, there are 5 sense objects also: smell, taste, form, touch and sound. And then mind, intelligence, ego, pradhan, all these constitute the 24 elements of material nature. So then after describing the composition of the body, now Krishna describes the qualities of the body. So qualities of the body and the changes which the body undergoes. Yad yadrik and yad vikar. So this verse says, Ichha dvesha sukham dukkham sanghataschetana dhritihi etat kshetram samasena savikaram mudaritam. So this verse describes Ichha, dvesha, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, and sanghatas means the aggregate. Chetana means the life symptoms. Dhriti means the convictions. So all these constitute the Kshetra Vikar. So if we think deeply on this verse, Kshetra means, so we have discussed what is Kshetra. Kshetra means the body. Kshetragya means the soul. So all these things Krishna is telling, these are the transformations which the body undergoes. So but if we think Ichha, Dvesh, Sukha and Dukkha, these are not the transformations which the body undergoes. These are the transformations which we undergo. That is, the soul undergoes all these changes of Ichha, Dvesh, Sukha, Dukkha. We experience all that, not the body. Then why Krishna is saying that this is the transformation of the body? So we have to understand that actually all these changes we are experiencing in this world, this is because we are identifying ourselves with this material world. For example, If somebody gets a brand new iPhone 11 Pro, just yesterday he has bought this and he is in ecstasy. Wow, now I have a latest mobile. And next day he's walking on the road, and by chance the mobile slips from his hands and it falls on the ground, and then a car runs by on it. So what will happen to that person? Dukkha. Earlier it was sukha, now it is dukkha. So now who has undergone this transformation? The mobile is broken, but why that person experienced dukkha? Nothing happened to him. Who underwent transformations? So the mobile underwent transformation. It got broken, but because the person was identifying that mobile with himself. Oh, this is my mobile. Prabhupada gives the example, just like if somebody buys a brand new car, and next day morning he's about to drive and somebody hits from the back. So he'll be completely devastated. He'll be sad. Suppose same thing happened to the neighbor's car. Your neighbor has bought a new car, and next day he is taking his car on the road and it is smashed from back by another vehicle. Something will experience anything? You will experience anything? No, you will not experience anything, because it is not your car. Similarly, because we are identifying with this material body, we are identifying with this material world. This is my body, I and mine. Therefore, whatever transformations the body undergoes, we also suffer. And therefore, Prabhupada writes in the purport, the body undergoes 6 types of transformations: birth, growth, maintenance, then production of the byproducts, then dwindles and dies. So these are the 6 transformations which body undergoes. But because we are rooted in this consciousness of material world, therefore we experience all these transformations: ichha, dvesha, sukha, dukkha. Just like another example I'll give. If somebody goes to a movie theater and is seeing a movie, watching a movie, in the movie, if that person sees hero and heroine embracing each other and having good time together, the person may be in the bliss. He will experience sukha. And if the hero is getting beaten by the villain, this person will experience dukkha. Although there is nothing, all the transformations are happening on the screen. He is just watching. But because he is in the theater, he starts identifying himself with the hero. Oh, if I am at that place, I'll also enjoy. Bichara, bhi pitai ho raha hai uska. Bichara, now he is getting such an enjoyment. So therefore, that person is identifying with that hero of the movie. The transformations which are happening on the screen is affecting that person also. So that's why it is described ichha, dvesha, sukha, dukkha. These are the transformations of the body. But the soul experiences these emotions because we identify with the body. We are rooted in this material bodily consciousness. Therefore, when Srila Prabhupada he went to America and he started giving all these Bhagavad Gita classes, one class he was saying, you are not this body, you are soul. One of the audience, he started thinking, maybe he is not his body. I am my body only. I am my body. After the class, one time Prabhupada was he gave a talk, and 2 very, very fat ladies, they came. And he said, Swamiji, thank you very much. We are very relieved after hearing your class. So Prabhupada said, what happened? So they said, Swamiji, every day people would tell us, you are fat, you are fat. Now we realize we are not this body. That's why we are so happy and relaxed. So therefore, this bodily conception is so strong that although the body undergoes transformation, but we experience all these emotions. Therefore, Prabhupada writes that if we have our original consciousness fixed in Krishna, but because we are attached to matter, we identify with bodily designation. Aham and mameti, me and mine. This is my body, and things which are in relation to my body, they are mine. Atma, Jaya, Suta, Agar, Pashu, Dravin, Bandushu, Rajye. These are the 7 things which make our bodily conception very, very strong. Atma means body, myself. Jaya, wife. Suta, children. Agar, home. Pashu, Pashu means in modern terms vehicles. Raj, Pashu, Dravina, wealth. Rajye, our property. All these things, they make us realize, make us convinced that this is mine. So therefore, Kaviraj Goswami describes this in great detail in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, Nitya Baddha Krishna hoite Nitya Bahirmukh Nitya Samsara Bhunje Narakadi Dukh. He says, living entity, because he is bound in this world by this aham and mameti, me and mine, he is continuously suffering in this material world. Nitya Samsara Bhunje. Because he is away from Krishna, he has turned his face away from Krishna. Prabhupada would say, the Indians, they are very close to Krishna, but the problem is they have turned their face away from Krishna. Americans and Western world, they're far away from Krishna, but they have turned their face towards Krishna. So for sure they'll come close to Krishna. Kaviraj Goswami says, living entities, we have turned our face away from Krishna, and we want to enjoy in this world. Therefore, we keep on wandering in this material world. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare shainam. So again and again we take birth, die. Therefore, Kaviraj Goswami says, Nitya samsar bhunje narak adi dukkha. Again and again a person suffers in this hellish condition. At present, we may not understand, oh, this is not so hellish condition. I'm having a good life, I have my family, children. But from the higher perspective, from the perspective of a pure devotee, it is a hellish condition. Our Shyamanand Prabhu, he was telling one example once, that once he was in the on the platform, railway platform, waiting for a train, and somebody had coughed and thrown a thick yellow sputum on the platform, and he was just sitting and waiting for the train. So he saw this scene. Then as this person went away, a crow came by, and the crow started eating that sputum. And as he's eating that, he's looking at Shyamanand Prabhu. He was telling that the crow was looking at me as if I am going to compete with him for that sputum. So from pure devotee's perspective, this sense gratification of this world is like that, very, very abominable. Nobody is interested in that. So therefore, scriptures, they again and describe that this pleasure of this material world, it is not worth it. And we have discussed that yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate. All the happiness of this world is pregnant with misery. It is pregnant. Miseries will take birth for sure. In this material world, we can do abortion. If there is child in the womb, it can be aborted. But we cannot abort miseries. Once we enjoy, miseries are bound to come for sure. We cannot avoid it. Therefore, nitya samsara bhunje narakadi dukh. Sei doshe maya pishachi danda kore tare. Adhyatmikadi tapatre tare jari mare. And because of that fault of enjoyment separate from Krishna, Maya Devi keeps on punishing by Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika and Adhidaivika klesha. Adhyatmika klesh means miseries which are coming because of the body and the mind. Adhibhautika means which are given by other living entities. And Adhidaivika means the supernatural calamities. Earthquake, hurricane, tornado, tsunami, volcano eruptions, all these. आध्यात्मिक आदि तापत्रय तारे जारी मारे काम क्रोधे रद्दास हैया तारला थी खाए Bhramite bhramite yadi sadhu vaidya paye. So he says, calm, becoming the servant of lust and anger, he is thoroughly kicked by material energy. Tar lathi khaye, bahut lat khata hai. But somehow or other, by the mercy of the devotees of the Lord, Bhramite Bhramite Yadi Sadhu Vaidya Paye. So he compares the devotees with physician. Taropadesh mantre pishachi palaye, Krishna bhakti paye tabe Krishna nikate aaye. And by the mercy of the devotees, devotees give that mantra. Mantra means manatrayate iti mantra. That is the medicine for the mind, which cures mind of all the contaminations, destroys all the contaminations of the heart. And then for sure, we also can attain Krishna. So that is the mercy of the devotees of the Lord. The more we take shelter of the holy name, the more we take shelter of the devotees of the Lord, the more the bodily conditionings, bodily conceptions will slowly go down. Chindante sarva granthihi. All hridaya granthi will be severed. All the knots of the heart will be severed. Therefore, this is the vikara which body undergoes, but the soul experiences, like that. Then after this, Krishna describes the fifth question of Jnana. What is knowledge? So knowledge means to know matter, spirit, and the controller of both. But now in the next 5 verses, Krishna describes the various aspects of a saintly character. So, and all these saintly qualities, they can disentangle the soul from this misconception of the material world. So from 8 to 12, these are the 20 elements of knowledge which Krishna is describing. So Krishna is describing these 20 elements of knowledge in terms of virtue. What are the qualities? Not in terms of information, points of information. These are not the points of information. These are the points of virtue which he is telling. Because technical knowledge is in this outside world, if you have a technical knowledge of something, you are good. You can, become a big person in this world. So, for example, somebody may be a doctor, somebody may be studying in medical college. He may have all the bad qualities, drinking, smoking, and doing all nonsense things, but still he can become a doctor. So the qualifications, material qualifications, have no relationship with the this material character, with the character of the person. Character wise, he can be anyone. He may have no good qualities, but he can be materially very well established. But this is not the case in the spiritual science. In spiritual knowledge, your character is very important. As Haridas Thakur was telling to Sanatana Goswami, Achar kore na keha na kare prachar, prachar kore na keha na kore achar, achar prachar tumi karah dui karya, tumi sarva guru tumi jagatera arya. So Haridas Thakur says, some people, they practice but they don't preach. Some people, they preach but they don't practice. Achar prachar tumi karah dui karya. Oh Sanatan Goswami, you are doing both achar and prachar also. Tumi sarva guru, you are qualified to become the guru of the whole world. So therefore, Prabhupada writes in the purport, the test of advancement in spiritual science is that these qualities, they come. So if we are practicing Krishna consciousness, so then these qualities should come. We don't have to endeavor separately for it, but we have to observe whether these qualities are coming or not. And if they are not coming, then we have to consciously endeavor to develop these qualities. We'll discuss few of these 20 qualities. First is amanitvam. Amanitvam means not to be proud when there is a reason to be proud. Very good definition or Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gave. Amanitvam means not to be proud when there is a reason to be proud. Somebody may be a good very good, great scholar. Somebody may be very wealthy. Somebody may be very strong, beautiful. There is a reason to be proud, but still he is not proud. That is called amanitvam. That is humility. Humility means you become humble in all respects. So, for example, in devotional service, one will get honor, one will get praise, one will get all respects. As a devotee, we should accept the respect which is given, but we should not expect the respect. So there is a difference. If somebody comes and glorifies, oh Prabhuji, आप तो इतने बड़े devotee हैं, इतना अच्छा class देते हैं, and you are doing so much service, and you are doing so many this things, and you are reading Bhagavad Gita every day, you are taking all these devotees to so many places for yatra, and you are doing all the management, you are doing temple services, you have deities, you are serving them, so many things, one can glorify. So what we can do, generally, when devotees, they are glorified, one way of responding is, nahi Prabhuji, mere mein to kuch bhi gun nahi hai, main to patit hu. Arey, this is not right thing. You have good qualities, everybody can see. This is not the right way of reciprocating with that person. He is glorifying for your qualities, and you are saying, no, mere mein kuch quality nahi hai. That means you are speaking lie. You have good qualities. So then, how we should respond? Devotees should accept the respect. Thank you, Prabhuji, for glorifying. But actually, whatever I have, it is the mercy of the Lord and the devotees. We should not keep the respect with us. Transfer it to Krishna and Guru Parampara, because they are actually, the source from which these qualities are coming. Everything is given by Krishna only. And secondly, we should not expect more respect. If somebody is glorifying us, then externally we may say, no, I am fallen, and internally we may say, अरे आगे कहो यार, अच्छा लग रहा है, किसी ने तो पहचाना मुझे. So we should understand, amanitva means not to be proud when there is a reason to be proud. We should not expect. And then next word is adambhitvam. Adambhitvam means not to be proud when there is no reason to be proud. So this is some difference between amanitvam and adambhitvam. Adambhitvam person may not have good qualities, but still he is proud. Then ahimsa, Prabhupada writes a very brilliant definition of ahimsa. Ahimsa means not allowing the souls the opportunity to advance in spiritual life. That may be gross killing or stopping their progress in spiritual life. That is ahimsa. Then shanti. Shanti means tolerance. It is not peace. Shanti means tolerance. So tolerance means, Prabhupada writes, we should not be distracted by the petty problems of material life. We tolerate them. When problem comes in the life, we don't get so much disturbed that we get distracted from the path of Krishna consciousness. We tolerate. That was the first instruction given by Krishna to Arjuna. Matra sparshas tu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhadah agama apayino nitya tam stitikshasva bharatah. Krishna is telling to Arjuna, oh Arjuna, all the dualities of this world, sukha, dukkha, heat, cold, pleasure, distress, man, apman, these will come. Just tolerate, because they are temporary. So therefore Krishna is saying shanti. Then there is one word where asakti anabhiswanga putra dara grihadishu. So this word asakti means becoming detached. Becoming detached from family affairs. That does not mean we become insensitive. We take care of the family responsibilities, we take care of the devotees, but we have to take care of the person as a complete person, complete whole. Not just taking care of the physical body, making sure that the person becomes connected to Krishna also. That is the complete affection we can show to our family members, relatives. And then putra dara grihadishu, becoming detached from putra dara griha adi, like that. And then Chakravarti Thakur writes, amongst these 20 points of knowledge, 19 are common to both devotees and the people who are jnanis. Both may have these qualities. Those who are on the path of impersonal liberation, Brahmavadis, and those who are on the path of devotional service, both may have all these qualities apart from one quality. One quality only devotee possesses. And what is that quality? Mai chananya yogena bhaktir avyabhicharini. So this is the prime quality of a devotee. Bhaktir ananya yogena bhakti avyabhicharini. We have to relate everything to Krishna. We have to practice unalloyed devotional service. Avyabhicharini bhakti. And that is the prime quality which only devotee possesses. After describing, and you can read the whole purport, Prabhupada very beautifully describes each and every qualities. Then after describing these 20 points of knowledge, now Krishna describes that by developing this knowledge, who is to be known? If you want to develop this knowledge, okay, what is the goal of developing this knowledge? Who is the Gya? Gya means object. By this knowledge, who is to be known? So Prabhupada Krishna describes that there are two people who are to be known by this knowledge. First is Atma, second is Paramatma. Soul and super soul. These are two objects of knowledge, Gya. And now Krishna will start describing this Gya. So there, first in 13th verse, Krishna gives the result of knowing this knowledge. He says, what will be the result if you know this object of knowledge? He says, Gyeyam yattat pravakshami yajgyatva amritam ashnute. Amritam ashnute. If you know this knowledge, you will attain liberation. Because this knowledge will take you away from this bodily conception of life. One will practice bhakti and come closer to Krishna and get liberated. Therefore, he says, first is you will be liberated. And second, he says, Anadi mat param brahma nasattanna asat uchyate. So he says, and you will understand this Brahma, this soul is subordinate to me. So there are two things. First is you will attain liberation. Secondly, you will understand that soul is a subordinate principle. Soul is Anu and super soul is Vibhu. So that is what is described here. Anadi mat param brahma. So therefore it is described that if a person understands this knowledge, then he understands soul, he understands super soul, and by knowing this knowledge one gets liberated. Jaj gyatva amritam ashnute. Then after describing the soul, so this 13th verse Krishna describes soul. Who is soul? Mat Anadi mat param brahma. So this jiva is subordinate to mat param brahma, is subordinate to the super soul, param brahma. I am param brahma and jiva is subordinate to this param brahma. After describing this, from 14 to 17 verses, Krishna describes the qualities of super soul. So in 14th verse, Krishna says this super soul is all pervading. Everywhere super soul is there in all living entities. Sarvata pani padam tat sarvato akshi shiromukham sarvata shruti malloke sarvam avritya tishtati. Sarvata pani padam tat. Everywhere are his hands and legs. Sarvato akshi shiro mukham. Everywhere are his eyes, face and heads. Sarvata shruti malloke. Everywhere are his ears. Sarvama vritya tishtati. In this way, super soul is all pervading. Then he says that this super soul, this is transcendental. This is not contaminated by the modes of material nature. This is not belonging to this material world. And there he says, Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam. So there is a Sarva Indriya Gunabhasam. He has all the senses, but he is without the senses. So that shows the transcendental nature of the super soul. That means he has no material sense. When it is described, super soul has senses. He is the original source of senses, but he has no sense. He is without senses. That means he does not have material senses like us. As Brahma Samhita describes, Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. So senses of Krishna, all the senses, they can perform the actions of all the other senses. One sense, eyes, Krishna can eat by the eyes, through the eyes. So that is the inconceivable transcendental nature of super soul. Sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarva bhrichaiva. Although if somebody is maintaining in this world, we are maintaining family, generally we get attached to the family. Krishna is saying the super soul, although it is sarva bhrit, it is the maintainer. Super soul is the maintainer of everyone in this world, but still it is asaktaha. He is not attached to them. Nirgunam gunabhoktracha. Although he is nirguna, he is beyond any material guna. Guna bhoktracha. He is the master of all the material modes also. So this is the inconceivable nature of Krishna. That is called Krishna's Virodha Bhanjika Shakti. If you see if you want to hear in the modern Bollywood sense, we hear one song, we have heard Anhoni ko honi kar de, honi ko anhoni. That is what Krishna is. Krishna is inconceivable. He can do anything and make it undone also. So therefore 15th verse describes Krishna is transcendental. Then in 16th verse, Krishna describes in more detail about this inconceivable nature of super soul. Bhahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha. Bahir is outside of everyone and inside of everyone. Antahcha, outside is also there, inside is also there. Acharam charamevacha, he is moving at the same time non-moving. Sukshmatva tvadavigyeyam, he is so subtle we cannot know him by our senses, sensory power. Durastham cha antike cha tat, he is very far. He is staying in the spiritual world, but still he is there within every one of us also. He is very near. So therefore, after describing super souls to be all pervading, transcendental, all reconciling and undivided, then he says he is the undivided maintainer and destroyer of everyone. So therefore, after describing this, finally in 13.18, Krishna reveals who is that super soul which he is describing till now. Itna to bol diya hai kaun? That Krishna describes in the 18th verse. There he says that super soul is situated in everyone's heart. Jyotisham apita jyotish tamasah paramuchyate jnanam gyeyam jnanagamyam Riddhi sarvasya vishtitam. So now Krishna is using three terms in this verse: Jnanam, Gyeyam, and Jnanagamyam. So these three terms are important to be understood. Jnan means knowledge. Gyeyam means the object of knowledge. And Jnanagamyam means the goal of knowledge. Again, I'll repeat. Jnan means the knowledge. Gyeyam means the object of knowledge, and Gyan Gamyam means the goal of knowledge. For example, if somebody is a medical student and studying in first year MBBS, so and he is studying anatomy. Anatomy is one of the subjects in the medical college first year, where the student is taught all the bodily functions, how the body is from inside. So this student, he is getting the knowledge of anatomy. That is the Jnana. But what is Geya for him? The Geya for him is to get the degree. By study of this anatomy, what does he want? He wants a medical degree. But what is the goal of this knowledge? Goal of the knowledge, goal to get this degree is to earn money. So therefore, Krishna is saying the super soul, he's all three. He's knowledge also. He's the object of knowledge also, and he's the goal of knowledge also. So we have to know about super soul so that we can serve the super soul. That's why many people, they would come to Prabhupada and say, Swamiji, what will you get by chanting? Prabhupada said, more chanting. The goal of chanting is more chanting. What you will get by, if you are serving here, what you will get after you go to the spiritual world, you will get more service. And Prabhupada tells a story. Only problem is we don't realize that whatever we are doing now is the knowledge, is the object of knowledge, and it is the goal of knowledge also. Now we are doing chanting. What everyday sadhanas are chanting, and by chanting we think that one day we will attain this love of God, and then it will be a different experience. Prabhupada tells a story about this. He says, there was one man who had never seen gold in his life. So he went to king, he wanted to see gold. So the king, he said, okay, no problem. You go out of this palace, there is a road, you take that road, and you walk 500 meters, you will find one palace, one structure. You open that door, there will be stairs, you take that stair, open the door. Inside you will see a vault, open that vault, and inside you will see there is a gold. So he follows everything, and then as he reaches that place, he opens the vault, he sees, oh, this is gold. As he closes that vault, he realizes that vault is also made up of gold. The gate, the door of that room is also gold, the stairs is also gold, everything is gold. So our problem is, at present situation, we think if I become pure devotee, I'll get something else. No. At that point, we will realize what I am doing now is the best thing. Just like Dhruva Maharaj said. So he said, Sthana Vilashi Tapasi Sthitoham Tvam Praptavana Deva Munindra Guhyam Kacham Vichinman Api Divyaratnam Swamin Kritarthosmi Varam Nayache. So Dhruva Maharaj says, oh my Lord, I was looking for a kingdom greater than my great grandfather, but after I have got your darshan, I realized what I was looking for was a broken pieces of glass. What I got is diamond. So therefore our problem is, we think Jnanam and Jnana Gamyam is something else. It is all same. Nam Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Holy name is not different from Krishna. By the process of chanting, we'll realize it. So that is what Krishna is saying. Jnanam, Gyayam and Jnanagamyam, all three are same. That is Krishna, that is super soul. After describing this, Krishna ends his explanation about knowable by giving the qualification. So in the middle of this 13th chapter, which is most technical chapter of this whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling that, who can understand this topic. And it is very, very simple and very, very clear what Krishna is going to say. Iti kshetram tata jnanam gyayam cha uktam samasatah mad bhakta etad vigyaya mad bhavayopapadyate. So in the heart of Jnana section, Krishna is telling, I have described you this kshetra, jnana, gyaya, everything I have described. So many detailed technical topics. कौन समझेगा इसको? समझ रहा है क्या? Only my devotee can understand it. Mad bhakta, only my devotee can understand kshetra, jnana and gyaya. So by the process of bhakti, this jnana will automatically come. So in this chapter also, in this 13th chapter, bhakti word has come twice. First, secondly in this 19th verse, and in 13.11 also. Mai chananya yogena bhaktir avyabhicharini. So Krishna is again and again emphasizing that bhakti is the integral part of all the yoga practices. Ashtanga, jnana, karma. anybody cannot become successful without adding bhakti element, because bhakti is the main ingredient of yoga path. So therefore Prabhupada says, why to contaminate and make it impure by adding this karma, jnana and ashtanga? Practice pure bhakti. And he has given the pure bhakti in very, very sweet and simple way by following four regulated principles, chanting the names of the Lord, by reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Such a simple way to connect to Krishna. Just a minute. So therefore, here Krishna is saying, by this process of bhakti, one can develop all the knowledge. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahetukam. By the practice of bhakti, this Jnana and Vairagya both come automatically. After describing this Gya, so till now Krishna has described about Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnana and Gya. Now two words are remaining, Prakriti and Purusha. That Krishna will describe in the further chapter of this 13th. Now he will describe about Purusha, Prakriti and how they interact amongst each other. So now this next section is an important section because it describes our relationship with the material world and how we get entangled in this material world. Purusha means enjoyer, controller. Purusha means soul and super soul also. Prakriti means material nature. So now Krishna will describe that this Prakriti 13.20, he says both this Prakriti and Purusha both are eternal. But we become disturbed because we get attached to the Prakriti, we get attached to the forms. That's why we become disturbed. And then in 21st verse, he says, this Prakriti and Purusha, they both are eternal, and what are their roles? That he describes in 21st verse. Karya Karana Kartritve Hetu Prakritiruchyate Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktritve Hetur Uchyate. So the acharyas, they have ascribed this verse to be the bija mantra of whole Bhagavad Gita. Bija Vakya or Maha Vakya. Because what is the reason that we are entangled in this material world? Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktritve. Because Karya Karan Kartritve. Nature is said to be the cause of effects, material causes and effect. Because Purusha, we want to enjoy. Bhoktritva means the enjoyment tendency. Living entity wants to enjoy this world, therefore sometimes he suffers happiness. Actually, happiness is also suffering. And sometimes he suffers distress. And many times this happiness is more suffering condition because we tend to become intoxicated and we don't even realize that we have to come out of this entanglement of material world. So therefore Krishna is saying this enjoyment propensity is the bija of material world. We want to enjoy this material world that binds us with this material world. Purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktritve hetur uchyate. So therefore the happiness and distress are due to Purusha's identifying with the Prakriti, as we discussed in 13.6, Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham. The Purusha, we identify ourselves with the things in the world. And the more we identify with the things in the world, we become more and more disturbed, more and more miserable. As it is said that the things in this world are meant to be used, people are meant to be loved. The problem is we love things and use people. So we have to just use things and get it done. We don't have to attach ourselves to the things of this world. We have to just do the needful. But we have to develop relationships with people of this world, keeping Krishna in the center. That's why when we want to enjoy in this world, we suffer. For example, a person who is watching a horror movie and the person who is not watching a horror movie. Person who is watching a horror movie is suffering. Who decided to watch that movie? The person. But because he started watching that movie, now he is suffering. So only way to stop, bring down his suffering is tell him to stop watching that movie. But the problem is the illusory happiness of this world is so strong that even if somebody is suffering in this world, he thinks, no, it is not so bad. Just like His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he was telling in his class, that even at the last moment of death, in 1 year, Krishna will say, come back. Other year, Maya Devi will say, stay in this world, it is not so bad. As a few days back also I said that material nature will not make us hopelessly frustrated. She will keep us hopefully frustrated. So therefore, the desire never goes. And because we are identifying with the matter, that's why we suffer. For example, cricket match is favorite for everyone. You ask anybody in India, कौन सा favorite है आपका match? Cricket. और क्या option ही नहीं है कुछ. So if India is playing against Pakistan, and if India wins, we feel, wow, Haribol. We may say devotee as Haribol. We will feel happiness. If India loses, we'll feel disturbed, morose. Why? Because we are identifying ourselves to be Indian. We have identified ourselves with this place. I am Indian. Therefore, things in relation to this body, they are the source of attachment. So that is the bhoktritve. Then 22nd verse, Krishna describes even more about this quality of bhoktritve. How one becomes attached to this bhoktritva, enjoying mentality, because he is bound by the modes of material nature. Purusha prakriti sthohi bhunkte prakriti jan gunan karanan guna sangosya sad asadyoni janmasu. So he says, Purusha prakriti astho. Living entity स्थित है किसमें? प्रकृति में. Because living entity is situated in this material nature. Therefore, what does he want? Bhunkte. He enjoys. What does he enjoy? The things which are coming out of the prakriti jan gunan. The things which are coming by the interaction of the three modes. The living entity is trying to enjoy that. And therefore, karanam guna sangosya. And therefore, sometimes he enjoys in a good way, sometimes he enjoys in a very, very bad way. Based on our conditionings, based on our propensities, we can enjoy in the mode of goodness, we can enjoy in the mode of passion, and in the mode of ignorance. That will be described in great detail in 14th chapter. So this Purusha Prakriti Sthohi Bhunkte, because we want to enjoy in this world. So therefore, based on our conditionings, somebody is in the mode of goodness. He likes to do the things which are very, very soothing, peaceful. Just like, for example, a person who is in the mode of goodness, he likes classical music. Person in the mode of passion likes Bollywood music, mode of passion. Person in the mode of ignorance likes rock music, mode of ignorance. So therefore, based on the modes, we attach ourselves to a particular type of happiness. And therefore, Krishna says, Sad Asad Yoni Janmasu. And based on that attachment, sometimes one takes birth in the higher planets, sometimes it takes birth in the lower planets, lower species and higher species. Just like 14th chapter, Krishna says, Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha madhye tishtanti rajasah Jaghanya guna vrittistha adho gachanti tamasaha. People who are in the mode of goodness, they go to heavenly planets. Those who are in the mode of passion, they stay in the middle planetary systems, earthly planetary systems. Those who are in the mode of ignorance, they go to the lower planetary systems. So therefore, whatever desires we cultivate in this life, we take birth in that same species. And people in this world, they are doing such abominable things, and that shows what type of mentality they are cultivating. There is a concept now very prevalent that is called toilet restaurant. So I'll show you a small video which describes what is this toilet restaurant, and then we'll discuss about it. So you can see, of course, all the things in this restaurant is similar to toilets. Even the bowls are in the shape of, commodes. Even the drinks which are served are in the color of urine. Ice creams are also like stool, shaped like that. And people, they are going to such type of restaurants to enjoy. So just by their subtle, we can understand the subtle bodies already made. Bhunkte prakriti jan guna. Subtle body is already ready. Just time is separating when they will get the same type of body. Sad asad yoni janmasu. So based on the desires which we cultivate in this life, based on our conditionings in this life, we take the next body. That is the Bija Vakya 21 and 22. Then after this, Krishna explains, he has started the explanation of Purusha. So he explains there are two types of Purusha. One is the soul, other is super soul. So he has explained about Purusha, soul. And there he says that Purusha is controlled by nature. But there is another Purusha who is controller of that nature. And there he describes about super soul. Upadarashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyukto dehe asmin purushapparaha. So what is the role of this super soul? He is upadrashta and he is anumanta. He is overseer and he is permitter. Upadrashta and anumanta. Bharta bhokta maheshwaraha. He is the transcendental enjoyer and he is the Lord of all the creation. Maheshwaraha. Paramatma iti ukto. He is called as Paramatma. Dehe asmin. He is also staying in the body, but he is Purusha Paraha. He is transcendental Purusha. So if you see in 22nd verse, so in the 22nd verse, the quality of this soul is described as Prakriti Astha, and second is he is Bhunkte Sad Asad Yoni Janmasu. Now, in this 23rd verse, the quality of super soul is described. He is Purusha Paraha. He is not under the control of Prakriti. And he is Maheshwaraha. He is not Sad Asad Yoni Janmasu. He does not take birth in this world according to the karma. He is Maheshwara. He is the controller of the material creation. So that is the difference between soul and super soul. Then in 24th verse, Krishna describes what is the result of this knowledge. The result of this knowledge is one gets liberation. Yayamam vetti purusha prakritim cha gunai saha sarvata vartamanopi na sabhuyo bhijayate. One who understands this prakriti, one who understands the living entity, one who understands the modes. So we have to understand Purusha, Prakriti and the modes. One who knows this does not get entangled in the moods. Nasa bhuyo abhijayate. He attains liberation from this repeated cycle of birth and death. So that is how we have to understand. It is like a person who is watching a movie, who realizes that there is life apart from this movie also, and that life is more exciting. Similarly, a person, when he gets knowledge of a spiritual world, he thinks, I want to go to that place. One time, one person, he was frustrated in his family life and he wanted to commit suicide. So he went on the railway tracks. He was waiting, as usual, Indian railways late. So then as he is waiting, he heard one song, very old movie song. चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहां गम भी न हो आंसू भी न हो बस प्यार ही प्यार मिले. So he's thinking, अरे यहीं पे तो जाना है मेरे को, कहाँ है ये. I'm frustrated with this world. I want to go to this place where is no gum, no dukh, only प्यार ही प्यार. So then he went to this person who has written this song. He said, किधर है ये? बोले अरे ऐसा कोई जगह नहीं होता है, वो तो मैंने ऐसे ही लिख दिया. He became all the more sad. As he was coming back, somebody gave him Bhagavad Gita as it is. And there he said, read this, you'll understand. There is a place where God lives. There is no pain, no misery, only happiness. He says, wow, this is the place I want to go. So that is what Krishna is saying. When we get knowledge, we understand that there is a place which is beyond this material world, which is not covered by all these modes of material nature. Na sab huyo abhijayate. Then after this, Krishna explains the means by which one can come out of this entanglement of material nature. So he explains in 25th and 26th, he explains different ways by which one can realize that Supreme Lord. ध्यानेन आत्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानमात्मना अन्ये सांख्येन योगेन कर्म योगेन चापरे. So Krishna is saying there are some people who perceive within themselves by practice of meditation. Some people, they perceive that same goal by the practice of Sankhya. So Krishna is talking about Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga in 25th verse. And also Karma Yoga. So 3 yogas he has described in one verse. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. Then he says, there is some other path which is much easier than this path which I have described. And that is the process of hearing. So Krishna prescribes Bhakti Yoga again in this 13th chapter. Anye tu eva janantah shrutvanebhya upasate tepi cha atitarantyeva mrityam shruti parayana. So he says, Anye, there are other people who are ajanantaha, who may not be conversant in this spiritual knowledge. Just like after hearing this whole chapter, many may be thinking, "Arey, kab khatam hoga ye chapter? Bas kariye, ho gaya, bahut ho gaya." So Krishna is giving us hope. He is saying, there are some people who may not be very, very philosophically inclined. Jada technical mat batao. Kya karna hai wo batao. Krishna says, yes. Shrutvanebhya. Just by hearing about the worship of the Lord, they begin the worship. They don't need all the technical details. क्यों करना है, भगवान ये हैं और यहाँ पे रहते हैं और ये कर्म ज्ञान आपके पास रखो, मुझे क्या करना है वो बताओ. So Krishna is saying, tepi chati taranti. They also cross this ocean of birth and death because they are Shruti Parayana. So we have to become Shruti Parayana. We have to become dedicated to the process of hearing. If you cannot understand technical details, no problem. Just become faithful to hearing, chanting the names of the Lord, hearing the pastimes of the Lord. That will make our life successful. Therefore, bhakti is the easiest and the best path to understand this science. So that is the conclusion which all the scriptures they give. So therefore, Prabhupada also writes in the purport that this hearing with faith from authorities has the great potency. So we'll discuss from this verse tomorrow, and a few verses are remaining. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Anybody has any questions, they can put on the chat. Somebody has asked 13.20 to 26. Oh, this is the bhoktritva for the, sometimes person enjoys, sometimes he is distressed, happy, sad. That's why this picture is put. And the other small picture is describing the people who are engaged in three types of activities in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So based on the attachment with various gunas, the person, he develops a subtle body, and based on that subtle body, he develops a next life. You said bad qualities are not impediment in material success. Someone may have bad qualities and still materially successful. So why bad habits or qualities don't affect their consciousness or intelligence? So we have to understand that they affect, but overall, this material education is so designed that, even if there is a mind is dull, still the material education goes inside, because material education is primarily in the mode of passion and ignorance. So it does not matter if somebody is in ignorance, because the knowledge which he is getting is also in the mode of passion and ignorance. There is, in the 18th chapter, we'll see there is knowledge in the mode of goodness also, knowledge in the passion and ignorance. So the knowledge which is in the passion, it tells you how to enjoy this world, how to become powerful. Knowledge in the mode of ignorance tells you how you can, become very, very inert, lazy, and still keep it going. So most of the knowledge of this material world tells you how you should control this world, how you should enjoy this world. So therefore, somebody may have bad qualities, but because it is all the bad qualities, they come from ignorance, passion, and ignorance. So even if somebody has these bad qualities, still he will be able to develop these material education. But if he indulges in these bad habits a lot, then the physical body will not support. Subtle body will be working very fast, but the physical body will not support. Just like if somebody is taking intoxication, drinking, smoking, taking drugs, it is putting that person in the mode of ignorance. Because of these influence of these intoxications, the body may lose support, body may become weak and diseased. But on the whole, the person, because he's in the mode of ignorance, the knowledge which he's getting, it is easy to sink in, because the material education is also having the same mode. That's how it is described. What is pradhan? So as it is described, there are 24 elements. So I'll give an example. In our kitchen, there is a, if there is a kitchen go down, and in kitchen go down, you dump everything at one place, masala, sabji, atta, chawal, dal, everything at one place, you mix it completely. That is pradhan. Now, if you have to cook, what you'll have to do first? You have to segregate things. You keep atta at one place, you segregate dal, chawal, sabji, all the spices at one place, and still you keep it in the godown only. So then this pradhan becomes mahat tattva, and then from this mahat tattva you can now identify and take the ingredients to make your prasad food. Similarly, in this material creation, after the annihilation of the entire universe, where do all the element goes? Everything goes in the body of Mahavishnu, stays in the form of pradhan, all mixed. At the time of creation, when Brahmaji takes birth, he starts the process of creation. So this is a very intricate and technical topic, but a simple way I'm telling you. After Brahmaji wants to create, now from Mahat Pradhan, he first segregates things. It becomes Mahat Tattva. And then from Mahat Tattva, so many different elements are created. So that is Pradhan, Mahat Tattva, and then other things. Is there a difference between Krishna Bhakti and Vishnu Bhakti? For us, it is same and also different. So on a technical level, if you understand, Krishna is the Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the source of all the incarnations. So tomorrow maybe I can show you the chart which describes all the various incarnations which are coming from Krishna. So from Krishna, there are first expansions that is called Balaram. From Balram ji, there is a first Chaturvyuha which appears. Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and I forgot the fourth thing. What? I forgot the fourth thing. Okay, no. Anyways, so then from this Vasudeva, this another Chaturvyuha is born, incarnates. And in that Chaturvyuha again there is Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. From that Sankarshan, this three types of Mahavishnus they appear. Garbhodakshay Vishnu, first Mahavishnu comes. From Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu comes. From Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Shirodakshay Vishnu comes. So this is the hierarchy of incarnations. So Krishna Bhakti and Vishnu Bhakti, they are, if somebody is attached to Vishnu, it is almost same as worship of Krishna, because Brahma Samhita also describes Deepar Chirev hi dashantaram abhyupetya. Just like when your light goes and you have one candle, you light first candle and then with that candle you light 3 more candles. Now all the 4 candles, they have same luminosity, same light, same brightness, but still there is one initial candle from which all the 3 other candles came. Similar case is with Krishna and Vishnu. Krishna is the initial candle from whom all the other candles they are coming. They are one and the same. So technically, if for an average person, Krishna and Vishnu, they are same. But those who are really interested in the technical details, there is some difference. The difference is Krishna is always the supreme personality of Godhead from whom all the incarnations they come. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is the supreme source of all the incarnations. And just like all the incarnations, they have a particular abode. So Vishnu has an abode called Vaikuntha. Krishna has an abode called Goloka. Goloka is the highest of all the abodes. Below Goloka is Mathura, Dwarka, then all the Vaikuntha planets, and before that Ayodhya, then Vaikuntha planets, and after that is this there is a lok of Sadashiva also. So those who are worshippers of Vishnu, they go to Vaikuntha planets. Those who are worshippers of Krishna, they go to Krishna Loka or Goloka. So there is some difference in the qualities of Krishna and Vishnu. Krishna has 4 qualities which Vishnu does not have. What are these 4 qualities which Krishna has? Venu Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, Leela Madhuri and Prema Madhuri. So Krishna, Lord Vishnu does not play flute. Lord Vishnu has only primarily relationships in the Madhurya, all the Lakshmis, and Dasya. There is no, in the Madhurya also, that is not, the relationship of, that is all married relationship, very, very formal. And there are no friends of Lord Vishnu. There are no girlfriends of Lord Vishnu, but Krishna has so many of the devotees. Thirdly, Krishna is more beautiful than Lord Vishnu. And fourthly, Bhakta Madhuri, Prema Madhuri, and Krishna is the embodiment of love of God. So that is the difference between a very detailed difference. For an average ordinary person who has just come to Krishna consciousness, for him Krishna and Vishnu, they are same. Krishna is God at home, Vishnu is God at office. But there is a difference also that we have to understand as we become more and more close and deepen our knowledge of scriptures, like that. Can you please help connect chapter 5th verse 4 Sankhya Yoga Prathak Bala to chapter 13 that you taught today? Okay, so this is same thing. I'll just go back. I wanted to just show one verse. Okay. Okay, no problem. So this Sankhya Yoga, which Krishna has described in chapter 5, this is the description of the same Sankhya philosophy which Krishna has described in this Ichha Dvesha Sukham Dukkham Sanghatas Chetana Dhriti and this Mahabhutani Ahankaro. So this is the Sankhya which Krishna has described in chapter 5 also. So this Sankhya which Krishna is describing here in 13.6 and Sankhya which Krishna has described in chapter 5 is same. So Sankhya means developing the knowledge of this material world, and see, this is describing 24 elements. There is 25th element also, that is called soul. There is 26th element also, that is called super soul. So therefore we have to understand what is Sankhya and what is this philosophy of yoga which Krishna is talking about in chapter 5. Sankhya yoga pratagbala pravadantina panditah ekamapyasita samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. So there Krishna says the ultimate result of this Nishkam Karma Yoga and Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga is same. How it is same? We have discussed in Yoga Ladder. This Nishkam Karma Yoga leads to Gyan, it leads to Ashtanga, it leads to Bhakti. And this Sankhya Yoga means Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga leads to Ashtanga, Ashtanga Yoga leads to Bhakti. So the result is the same. And in this 13th chapter, Krishna is also describing about this Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya philosophy in this 6th verse, where he has described this 24 elements of material nature. So this is how we have to understand that Krishna has described this Sankhya philosophy many times in Bhagavad Gita also. In 2nd chapter also. 2nd chapter is what? Description of the body and the soul. That is Sankhya. There also Krishna had used the word 2.39. Esha te abhita sankhye buddhir yoge tvimam shrunu. So there also he had said, O Arjuna, just hear this Sankhya with your buddhi. What is the Sankhya which Krishna wants to tell there? Same thing, the knowledge of the body and the soul. Same thing is tells in the 5th chapter. Sankhya Yoga Prathak Bala. Sankhya means Jnana Yoga. Sankhya means the analytical study. Only a Jnani can understand all these details. Many of the people, devotees who are hearing, they may be thinking, क्या चल रहा है? बहुत हो रहा है, ज़्यादा हो गया. सांख्य सांख्य सुन के, ज्ञान सुन के सब ज्ञान जा रहा है. You know, so Sankhya and Yoga, this Sankhya means knowledge, analytical study of this material world. That is the work of Jnanis. And even after hearing this 13th chapter, if somebody thinks chalega yaar, so then you are qualified to become a Jnani. Otherwise, Jnani means all intellectual understanding of God. Not so easy. Therefore, Krishna described in 13.25. Look, this dhyanen atmani pashyanti, kechidatmanam atmana, अन्य सांख्येन योगेन, karma yogena cha pare. Some people worship by Ashtanga yoga, some people worship by jnana, some people by karma. Don't worry about all these things. There are some other people who are practicing the easy way. अन्ये त्वेमम जानन्तः श्रुत्वा नेभ्य उपासते. Just by hearing about me, te pichati tarantyeva, they also get liberated from this bondage of birth and death, because they are shruti parayana. They are surrendered to the process of hearing. You know, it's like that. I hope it made some sense. Rest we can discuss personally. The state that we cultivate, that body we attain, but sometimes habits are very strong. What to do? Yeah, of course habits are very strong, but we cannot just give up working on it because it is difficult. So we have discussed earlier also, there is something called vritti and vasana, nature and habits, anarthas. So our nature comes by our previous life's actions and whatever desires we have developed in the past life. Anarthas are those conditionings which we can, purify them. We cannot change our nature. We can purify our conditionings. If somebody says it is my nature to be angry, no, that is not your nature. That is an anartha. Anartha should be purified. By nature, one may have that body, but there is a level of level after which, if this anartha is going, that means it becomes dangerous. Everybody has a particular nature. Some people get angry easily. Some people does not become angry so easily. उनको गुस्सा दिलाओगे तो भी गुस्सा नहीं आएगा. So we have to understand, if things are going beyond, then we have to take it seriously. We have to very, very steadily practice this process of devotional service. Keep praying to Krishna, working on our bad habits. Then bad habits will slowly go. Krishna is there to help us. That faith we should have. Devotees are there to help us. Only thing we have to do is, we don't have to give up. That is another form of Maya. Maya Devi will tell that ye tere se nahi hoga. This habit you cannot give it up. This is not for you. You cannot practice bhakti. This is beyond you. This is another way. Devotees, they go into the guilt consciousness. And I've seen devotees giving the path of bhakti because they become so guilty. Itna sab sun ke bhi I am not able to practice. No problem. Koi baat nahi. Lage raho. Just purify yourself by continuously hearing. Slowly, Krishna will show mercy. Like that. So just consistent struggle is the key to improve our bad habits to good habits. The results of our karma are not in our control. Then how to offer them to Krishna? See, when Krishna says yat karoshi yadashnasi yat jihoshi dadashyat yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva mad arpanam. So Krishna is not talking about our past lives actions. Anyways, we don't have any control over them. We don't know what actions we have performed. We don't know what are the reactions which are coming from those actions. What is in our hand is this life's actions. Whatever we are doing now, whatever we are thinking, whatever we are offering in charity, that is in our control. That we can do. So Krishna is not such type of person who will think, no, sab kuch offer karna hi padega. Krishna says, don't run after becoming best. Give your best. So Krishna is that type of person who says, give your best, whatever you can do in this life. Things which are not in your hand, I'll take care of that. So Krishna will purify our previous lives conditionings and anarthas, and he will rectify our sinful reactions. What we can do is, we can purify, we can serve, and we can offer the results of the actions which we are doing now, either directly or indirectly, as we discussed yesterday. 4 levels Krishna is giving. First, completely thinking about fixing your mind and intelligence. If you cannot do that, practice sadhana bhakti. If you cannot do that, work for me directly. If you cannot do that, work for me indirectly. If you cannot do that also, at least do some charity. So that is how we have to understand. The results of our karma are not in our hand, and we cannot, so the things which are not in our hand, we cannot do anything about it. What is in our hand? What we are doing now. And then that we can offer to Krishna for sure, and Krishna accepts that. Is there end of life and death cycle in Vaikuntha? Yeah, because after we end the cycle of birth and death in this material world, then we go back to spiritual world, Vaikuntha. As Krishna says, Yad Gatvana Nivartante, whoever goes to that place does not come back. So that is how we have to understand that in this world, Brahma, Bhuvana, Loka, Punaravartino, Arjuna, Mamupettitu Kaunteya, Punarjanamna Vidyate. In this world, there is all the places are places of birth and death. Those who go to my abode, he does not come back in this world. Therefore, we have to strive for that thing which is not available in all the 14 planetary systems. Tasyeva heto prayateta kovido nalabhyate yad bhramatam uparayadaha tallabhyate dukkavad anyata sukham kalena sarvatra gabhira ramhasa. Tasyeva heto, therefore you should endeavor prayatet. Kovida means those who are intelligent. Intelligent person should aspire and endeavor only for that goal, na labhyate, which is not available in all the brahmatam upari adha, traveling from the higher to the lower planetary systems. That thing which is not available in all the 14 planetary systems, intelligent person should aspire for that. Tallabhyate dukkhavat anyata sukham, because in this world, whatever you do, it is covered with misery. Kalena sarvatra gabhira ramasa. In this world, in due course of time, everybody suffers and enjoys. Why one should run after these things in this world? Just try to get out of it. So therefore, Vaikuntha means we have to go to the place where, that song you can remember, na gam bhi na ho, na asu bhi na ho, bas pyar hi pyar mile. That is the place where Krishna is living. Lord Vishnu is there. Vaikuntha means we go to Vishnu's place, right? Yes, yes. We can also go to Goloka. Yes, we can go to Goloka, or we can go to Vishnu Loka. But our current job profile is to purify us of our anarthas. We have to purify our anarthas. That we can do by the process of hearing and chanting and reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Thank you for being there. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.